Communication is the bedrock of every relationship, irrespective of distance. Today on Hot Button, we shall be discussing long distance and short distance relationship. I am Tayo Adeleke and glad to have you with us on the program. I have
Oluwashimilore Adeyemi
and
Pascal Ibero.
Welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
To Shimilore, if I may ask, what distance is healthy? Is it long distance or short distance relationship?
Okay, well, I would say it depends on what works for the individual. It could be long, it could be short. So to me, both are actually healthy. It just depends on individual difference. The one you feel that actually works for you and you feel that yes, is actually achievable for your relationship.
Okay, if I may ask to you personally, which one actually works for you?
Both actually works for me. Yeah, both works for me.
It's like you're sitting on the fence.
No, both actually works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, to Pascal, which one is healthy? Is it long or short distance relationship?
It may be true that it depends on what works for a relationship, long distance or short distance, but personally I can't see myself engaging in a long distance relationship, although I'm sure it's something that people out there enjoy somehow. It's not me. I will go for short distance relationship anytime, any day.
You go for short distance relationship anytime, any day. And to Shimilore, that I actually prefer both, which is between long and short distance. Didn't you think long distance relationship can cause distrust or disloyalty?
At all. It can't. Speaking from personal experience, I would say it can't and it won't. So far, you and your partner are always communicating with one another. And there's actually trust between one another. That is why before you actually enter a relationship, there's this connection or this phase whereby you would have passed before even going into the dating phase. Okay, we call it courtship or something. Before you actually go into the dating phase. So you would have considered that part that, okay, this is going to be a long distance relationship. How am I going to achieve it? Is this something I can be able to stand? Is this something that we can actually be able to work on? A long distance relationship comes in two different ways. Okay. Both partners are actually living in the same geographical location, but they are not seeing each other at all. And it can actually come in another way whereby both partners are actually living in different geographical locations. A very good example, the female partner is actually living in maybe Enugu, and the male is actually living in Lagos. Automatically, what is going to just be going on between them is just video calls. Only if they actually want to plan like a very good outing they want to meet, which is, well, once in a while. Not even once in a while. It might not be something that might occur. But they just like to stick to video calls. So that's what I see long distance really. So far, there's communication between both and both partners must have actually agreed before putting hands into it, if they feel it's actually going to work for them.
They need to agree. You know, you said something earlier that when they're about to start a relationship, they should reach a conclusion that, okay, this relationship is long distance. What if they are in the relationship and maybe work, the guy actually got transferred to another place and the lady is in that same location? What can you say about that?
Well, they will actually have to come to agreement at the end of the day, because the guy will actually have to discuss with his girlfriend, explain things to her in-depthly, how they are going to go about it. And honestly, if you want your relationship to work, regardless of the distance, it is actually going to work. The effort and everything you're going to put into it is actually going to work. And this is actually for both partners actually working on themselves. The male partner working on himself and the female partner actually working on herself. So if both of them actually want it to work, regardless of the distance, they can actually make it to work. We have series of relationships whereby they got transferred. There are some people whereby they actually travel abroad, not even in the same vicinity as Nigeria. They actually travel abroad and leave their partners in Nigeria. But at the same time, what they are doing over there is they're actually processing the situation already to allow their partners to actually come over. So the thing is, if you have built trust right from scratch, if you've built communication right from scratch, then I don't see any problem that is going to happen to the relationship.
Okay, if you have built trust right from time and if you have built communication right from time, that will actually be of help. Do you have anything to say on that, Pascal?
She made some very valid points, but let me turn this into a classroom situation.
Okay.
In mass communication, we are taught 3 modules of communication.
Yes.
There's the linear module, one-way communication. There's the interactive module, two-way communication. Each speaker takes turns or two. And there's the transactional module.
Yes.
This is when the communication is actually happening all at the same time between the sender and the receiver.
Yes.
What's going on in this module? You're speaking, I'm listening, but based on my body language, based on my reactions, you can tell exactly how I feel about what you're saying. It means you're getting feedback at the same time you're talking, even though I'm not talking, until I now talk, and then you can communicate to me through transactional model again. My point is that transactional model has been proven to be the most effective model of communication, and that's not possible to have in the case of long distance relationship, where you have to do with text messages and calls, and you even have some cases where somebody will text something to you, and then let's say I send something to you on a message, and then from my point of view it's me saying okay, and then from your point of view you're like, why is he saying okay? Is he angry with me? Does he not like what I said? This kind of things. I just think when it comes to long distance relationship, yes, people do survive, people cope with them, but they leave too much room for avoidable circumstances and inconvenience.
Okay.
The last point you made, the thing is, regardless of the situation, whereby calls and chats, remember, it's not even everybody that likes to deal with going out and all. There are some people, they actually prefer calls to chats. Some prefer chats to calls. Some prefer everything. So it actually depends. And again, you said that your partner, maybe you're actually texting and the partner should say okay, and you'll be like, what's going on? Why is the conversation not, going well and all? That is why you would have understood your partner right from day one.
But he's not actually there with you. You have talking from this end, and
but that's the
is
thing.
talking from the other end.
I understand long distance relationship. Regardless, that's the thing, that there are some partners whereby that's why you said that, okay, always be observant. There are some partners whereby, regardless of the geographical location they are, they actually know how their partners actually relate. If I'm not in a good mood, for instance, and I'm kind of person that if I'm not in a good mood, it shows in the way I text to the person. Wow. I'm always straightforward. It's very noticeable that, oh, this person is not in a good mood, just leave this person, let this person be. So you must have actually studied your partner, regardless of if it's a long distance or short distance relationship.
You want to say something, Pascal?
Well, she said something about some people prefer calls, some people prefer texts, and yes, that is very true. But like I said, room for inconvenience. In the case where one partner does not have credits, and then he tries WhatsApp call, and the other person is not online, and they don't see the call. And the first thing the person does when they now decide to call, because they think, okay, you've not called, is to start saying, oh, so if I don't call you, you not call me. You see, all these problems, they come up as human beings. We don't see what someone else is going through, or else we're in close proximity to the person. We don't understand what they are going through, what's keeping them busy, what could be making them not to have time for you because you're not in their presence. All these things, it's just really too much room for questions, and even some things will now start getting to the mind of, let's say the girl, for instance, she starts to overthink. And then she's like, okay, why is he no longer doing this? Why is he doing this? Why is it that? Is it because we're no longer in a close distance relationship? And then she starts to question the boy about it every day. Well, let me not go too deep into that. But I still maintain my position that long distance relationships give room for a lot of inconvenience and avoidable situations, even though people do tend to maneuver such things, but there won't be need to maneuver a problem if the problem does not exist in the first place.
But problems like this also exist in short distance relationships.
Yes, they do, of course,
Very
because problems
often.
exist in every form of relationships.
Yeah, of course, true.
But which one has quicker problem solving time? is one where you can actually sit down and have a heart-to-heart, which is short distance relationship.
Even if I may ask, Shimleri, you're talking about long distance relationship. Didn't you think that can actually create a loophole in the relationship, in the sense that maybe you are expecting the guy from the other end to respond to your message immediately, and he's not responding? Maybe he's busy doing some other things, and maybe you know about his schedule, and the schedule change, and he's not responding to your message. Won't you be thinking of so many other things, or won't that create a loophole in the relationship?
Okay, there's something that people tend to do in relationships, whereby you give your boyfriend or your partner the schedule for the day. Same goes with the girlfriend too. She gives her boyfriend the schedule for the day too. And if the schedule tends to change, the same thing happens. You give the person, so you know when to call, when not to call. You know when to text and when not to text, because everyone is actually busy regardless of if you're in a relationship, yeah? So, to me, I don't think that is actually going to cause a loophole, because I must be able to understand. I must be able to understand from his own perspective, yeah? That, okay, he's busy. He's doing a whole lot of things. And same here too. Because I'm this kind of person, if I'm busy and you send me a text and I do not reply, and then you are going over the board all of a sudden that why didn't you not reply me, this, that, and all, it can lead to actually a misunderstanding between the both of us, to be very honest. It will actually lead to a misunderstanding between the both of us. But if we have our own schedule, when to call, when not to call, okay, you know that, okay, the person is not in Nigeria, for instance, the person is abroad. Different time change and all, yeah? You will know when to actually call the person, when not to call. You know when to actually text and when not to text. And, well, to me, I don't think there will actually be any loopholes in it. So far, you're just going along with the, this thing with the play and all.
Okay, Pascal, you have something to say on it?
My position is that something can come up. You said something about sending the daily schedule to the spouse. Okay, now let's say this happens in a short distance relationship. We are together, yeah? And I wake up, you're there, and I'm preparing to go to work as usual. Then all of a sudden I receive a message when I'm already like approaching my car that, okay, you're not going to work today, or instead you're needed in another state. And this is what you're going to do, this is the time, you need to be in the airport in like an hour. I can just tell you, oh, even though I'm disoriented, you see it in my face, like, what's happening? I'll say, all of a sudden, this is where I'm going to, I'm not going to work, like plans have changed. I really need to go and rush and take my remaining time to pack, and then use the rest of the time to drive to the airport. And then while in the airport, settle my tickets, wait in the waiting area, board, put my phone on flight mode or switch off the phone. All these things that will keep you from actually communicating on your phone if you're in a long distance relationship. So I believe loopholes will come with a schedule change depending on how impromptu the schedule could be, especially in a long distance relationship.
Okay, from long distance relationship now, Pascal, won't short distance relationship cause this commonality and overseeing each other, seeing each other regularly, and that can actually cause less love?
You're using some strong words there. You're using some strong words there. I believe,
you know, you guys have not married to each other and you're seeing each other often. Can that cause a less love?
Okay. Let me just use this analogy. There is a piece of firewood and you set it on fire. That's the love. And then occasionally you have to come and fan that flame, yeah? For it to spread more, for it to still be strong. And if you don't fan it for too long, because I don't know, you're far away, because you're far away, the flame goes off. But if you're close by and then you fan this flame, it stays on, you can go somewhere, you can fan the flame. Eventually, you see that the flame will stay strong until death do the firewood by. So, the problem of what's the word you used again?
Distance, commonality.
Commonality. I don't think it will arise, because if that relationship was to lead to marriage life, you already know where this is going. You would see each other. You would see each other to the point that you will be like, you just say, okay, I've seen you. But it can't be to the point where you're like, I've seen you. So long as that love is there, that is really the secret behind remedying the
overseen commonality
syndrome. Let's call it that.
So, Shemila, you have anything on that?
Yeah, same thing as what he has said too, because there was a time whereby I had the same conversation with my mom, and what I just told her was that won't someone not get tired of seeing the person all the time? You're always seeing the person, seeing the person.
When you are not getting married.
And in response to what I asked, my question was that, no, that is what makes the love stronger. That was my mom's response to it. That is what even makes the love stronger the more. So all what Pascal has said is actually the truth. Because at the end of the day, when you get married, you can't say you want to ignore the partner. When you wake up, you see the partner. When you sleep, you see the partner. When you eat, you see the person. When the person comes back from work, you see the person. So every day you're seeing the person. So it's not something you can actually, what's the word?
Outgrow.
Exactly, outgrow.
A case of repeated reason to remember why you're happy, reason to remember why you love them when you get to see them occasionally. And that thing I would say is the weakness of a long-distance relationship.
Now, does communication gap affect both long and short-distance relationship?
Yes, both actually. Communication is a very table tool in every relationship. It's the first thing in every relationship.
Yeah, it's like the bedrock of the relationship.
Exactly. Let me just take, for instance, short-distance relationship.
Okay.
If communication is not happening in short-distance relationship, there are some partners that actually, they are very good in reading facial expressions. They actually know when something is wrong with their partner, even without their partner speaking, non-verbal cues. They actually know what is wrong with their partner, even without the person speaking out or anything. So if the relationship is actually lacking communication, the partner can then be questioning him or herself that, what is this person holding that he or she does not want to tell me? Am I not doing enough? What is going on exactly? I've tried my possible best to make this person to speak up. That is why in every relationship, they always say trust. Before you can enter a relationship, at least, there should be a thing like whereby, if it's not even full trust, at least have trust for your partner. If you know there are some people that have trust issues and they tend to actually work on it. But still, at the end of the day, if you don't have trust in your partner, then it will be hard for you to actually communicate some difficult information to your partner. You might feel that, it's better I actually communicate this with my best friend and not communicate with my partner, because my partner can actually just go over the blue and, take it out of proportion for me. Same thing actually goes with long distance relationship too. Communication gap happens in both long distance and short distance. Long distance, you might start having the knowledge, like what you said earlier, that you can start having the mindset that, maybe he has gotten married, he has gotten another girlfriend, he doesn't have my time again, the love we used to share is no longer there again, what happened, what occurred along the line. So communication gap actually occurs whether in both short and then long distance.
I'm of the same opinion as Shemila right here. I'll bring back my analogy of the firewood, because so if the repeated seeing is the fan, I would say communication is the fuel that helps to make that fire, both in long distance and in short distance. That's where I stand in this.
Oh, that's great. So what should people in long distance relationship do to keep their relationship?
I think the first thing, of course, has been established that communication is essential. And also regarding to communication, who do they seek advice from?
It's very, very important. Very, very important.
They notice a change in the relationship and they go to this one best friend that has had his mind on the relationship so he can just swoop in. Or they go to this one jealous female friend that has been looking at the relationship and envying them, like, okay, when is my own going to happen? Or wants to even steal the boyfriend. Who do you go to seek advice in a relationship? I personally wouldn't like be in a relationship and go to a friend and seek advice, because what that friend will tell me is what they'll do in that situation. And they're not always right. It's not in all cases they actually know the right thing to do. I would go to my mom. I'll tell my mom, mommy, this is what's happening, like, so. Although that rarely happens, because the first person you should actually go to is the person that you're in the relationship with. Yeah.
And from long distance to short distance now, what are those things they need to do to keep their relationship moving on as well?
From short distance aspects. Communication is number one. Communication is the very first thing. Then trust. Then also, even if it's short distance, a little text, good morning text, goes a long way in every relationship.
Those that are bad in sending a text. Some people, some people are actually, they are not often with text message. So
some are always calls. It's not both partner that the male partner can actually be the one that is good with text. There are some boyfriends that tend to know how to appreciate their girlfriends. And same thing actually goes from some girlfriends, where they can just wake up one morning and then send a long appreciative note to their boyfriend. But it can also be in terms of call. So it's not everybody now. There are some people whereby text works for them, and there are some people whereby it doesn't.
Okay, what she said about the long appreciative note, that doesn't always apply to everybody, although there are some people that they would like to see the 1,000 words, or the sugar in my sugar cane.
It starts in my mood.
If I usually wake up 2 hours before a class, so I can do what I have to do. Even at home, when I wake up a long time before the time I actually have to start my day. So I can do everything. If it's showering, if it's reading the Bible, if it's preparing what I have to do for that day, if it's planning my entire day, everything. So if I come online, it's to make sure I'm not missing out on any information. Because if you avoid social media nowadays, your whole set can graduate and you'll still be there wondering, like, what happened? When do we enter week 5? So when I come online, it's to either send information, because I happen to be the course rep, that the lecturer is sending to the class through me, or to find out what is going on in the department. If they've canceled class, let me not go and dress up and then look at myself like, why did I dress up? So if I wake up in that kind of situation, already I know what I'm about to do. And I do this thing called time budgeting, where I know that, okay, there's actually somebody that I need to give my time to. But at the same time, it can't be too much time, especially in the morning.
Yeah, sure.
You don't focus on your phone in the morning. I'm not that kind of modern day teenager. So I come online and I do what I have to do, and then I want to leave, and I'm like, oh, wow, I've not texted this person this morning, and I see that she has texted me, and what she sent me was not, oh, hey, good morning, I hope you slept well, I wish you the best today, I know you're going to be busy, but she sends me this 2,000 word episode. Hey, one time I messed up and read the beginning and read the end. So that was a long time ago, and I've grown since then. But it's not always recommendable. The same way we have house policies or organizational styles in companies and organizations, you should have relationship styles and relationship policies. Know what you're entering before you enter. Long distance or short, just know what you're entering. Know their habits. Know what they dislike, know what they enjoy, what is their green or red flag.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, regardless of it being long distance and short distance, every relationship adds its own, I'll call it maybe leadership style. Every relationship works differently. So relationship A it will actually differ from relationship B. So relationship B and relationship A cannot be the same, because they are 4 separate individuals that are actually working in each of the relationships.
And that is why even asking people in relationships for your own relationship advice is not always the best.
Do you think that can actually help them in their own
No, the
relationship?
best thing is actually to speak to your partner directly. Hear what the person has to say. Just like what he mentioned, speak to your partner directly. At least listen to what the person has to say. I'm very close to my mom, regardless of the way we always, fight and everything. But I'm actually close to my mom. And when it comes to advice, relationship talks, I always go to my mom to mommy, okay, this and this happened. How should I go? And the guest, it can even go up to you. My mom can start talking and you'll be like, why did I ask? But at the end of the day, you're actually gaining something out of it. You might feel that, I spoke to him, but wait, why did I not consider this? Because your friends can actually, I'm not saying your friends will give you bad advice. That's why you say have a good friend group. I'm not saying they'll give you, but thank God for my friend groups. They are actually people that, they tend to give good advice. But at the same time, it's not that they will give you a bad advice, but it depends on you on which to actually follow. Do you think that the advice they've given you is something that is going to work for your relationship? Do you think it's actually suitable for your relationship? And it's not every partner that likes a third party to be involved in their relationship.
That's me.
It's not everybody that likes it. It is me and you, because we are the ones that are actually dealing with this relationship. So let's work with this relationship together.
So that we can actually focus on it together.
And to add to what she has already said, amongst all the different types of compatibility a relationship should have, those the physical compatibility, the physiological, the emotional compatibility, it's essential that the spiritual compatibility, if religion is involved, which it should be compatible.
It's very, very important, that religion aspect, because that's what you actually build on in your relationship, But it's very, very important to understand that be it a long distance or short distance relationship, what matters most is trust, communication, and understanding. If you have that three, it will actually go a long way in your relationship, and it will help each other, be it male or female, to understand when this person is busy and when he's not busy. Trust where this person is, either is at home or at office. And communication is very, very, very important, because that's like a vehicle that keep the relationship moving. It's very, very important to understand that. Thank you, Shemilore and Pascal, for coming on the program today. And to our viewer out there, I know this will actually help you in your relationship so as to move on to the next phase of life. Till come your way next time, remain blessed.